Hey guys, Wade Willis here doing my playthrough of Fate Stay Night, and I'm on the Fate route. This is part 3. One, we learned what command seals were, and each master only gets 3 of them. Rin used one of her command seals, essentially demanding Archer to follow all of her directions, which he said was kind of stupid, but then he realized how strong her actual magical power was, and it is still hard for him to be able to go against her wishes, even though it's such a broad demand. The more specific each demand is, the stronger it is. And right now she's going around with Archer. The 7th Master isn't out yet, but she's feeling someone watching her around and stuff. So really pumped to get into this. And yeah, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm going to be doing playthroughs of this. I have anime reactions of things. Check it out. And if you like the video, leave a like. It helps a ton. Rin, is the person you know the foreigner? No, I don't know him. There are lots of Western-style houses around here, so he might be visiting one of them. I say that much, then scold myself for being too soft where that girl is involved. Archer? Is he human? I don't know. He has form, so he should be human. At the very least, he is not a servant. Right. He's not a master either, so I guess that's just a minor quarrel. Still, I know she's not the kind of girl to get in trouble with a guy. They're going. The girl is walking up the hill. The man is. The blonde guy goes down the road we came up. Well then, you can use this place. I'm going to bed unless you have questions first. I don't have any important questions. Your decision not to rush into battle is a correct one. You should use tonight to recover your magical energy. Yes, I will see you tomorrow then. Please make me tea tomorrow morning. Kind of changing her tune a bit. Fatigue hits me hard once I walk into my room. Oh yeah, I have to contact Kirei before I go to bed. That annoying priest. He'll already be getting ready to call in the substitute magus. I don't really care about that, but he's my guardian, so I have to at least do the right thing. Phone. I dial the number, and soon the fake priest picks up. Kirei, it's me. I formed a contract with a servant just yesterday, so register me as an official master. A brief silence. Kirei's silence is enough pressure to stress you out even over the phone. Understood. Now what? You should come and see me at least once. I have something to give you that I received from your parents. They said to give it to you only if you become a master before you become an adult. Oh, you mean Father's will? I already deciphered it and got the item, so it's fine. I'll come by and see you if I feel like it. Goodbye. Wait, Rin. If you are a master now. I hang up, not hearing him out. Listening to Kirei's lecture while I'm tired won't help me recover my magical energy. She's such a... Oh my gosh, she kills me. Right. All preparations are done now. All that's left is to sleep. When I wake up next, it should be a completely different morning. 10 years ago, the Holy Grail War in which my father competed as a master and was defeated. Now I'm entering that same battle. Groundhog's Day. I don't think they celebrate that in Japan. So, after breakfast, I clearly explain my immediate plans. What? You're going to school? Yeah. Do you have a problem with that, Archer? No problems, it's just... Archer hesitates but does not eject. He must have realized yesterday that I'm not the type to take back my decisions. I can kind of tell without him saying so. Archer is sarcastic, but he has an honest side to him, so it seems he won't complain about something he's accepted. Yes, in other words, he's faithful in an awkward way. This is my conclusion, no more of an intuition after watching Archer for all of yesterday. Rin. As you are a master now, you must always be cautious of other masters. School is a place where it's hard to remain prepared against sudden attacks. That's not true. Look, Archer. Even though I'm a master now, I don't intend to change my lifestyle. Besides, a battle between masters is something that should be done out of public view, right? So if we're at school, where there are lots of people, I don't think we'll see any kind of surprise attacks. I see. But if that's what you've decided, I can only obey. But I can guard you in spirit form, right? You don't intend for me to stay here while you're at school. Of course not. Not just at school, but I want you by my side whenever I go outside. It is a servant's role to protect the master, so I'll be counting on you. I'm relieved to hear that. It is the duty of a knight to answer trust placed on us. I shall do my best to meet your expectations. But Rin, just hypothetically, what would you do if there were an enemy in that safe place? What are you suggesting? There might be a master at school? That's right. It's certainly hard for anyone who isn't a teacher or student to get in, but wouldn't it be a problem if someone already there is a master? I don't think that's possible. In this town, there's only one family of magi other than the Tosaka, and the other family has declined, and they don't even have a master. How do you know there isn't a master? Hey, it's only natural to investigate other family of magi in the same town. He isn't a master, and his successor doesn't have enough magical energy to become a master, so we just have to ignore them. I see. So there's another Magus at school you go to. But you say that the other Magus doesn't have sufficient magical energy to become a master. Is that correct? Exactly. So most masters will probably be coming from elsewhere. I don't think such people would come to the school. Well, for now at least. But Rin, there are always expectations. What if there is a Magus at your school that you don't know about? Like I said, there aren't any. Magi are sensitive to other Magi. If we were at the same school for a year, I should be able to sense a Magi no matter how well they hide it. I will state in confidence that there are only 2 Magi at our school. One of them is me, the other is an apprentice who doesn't even have enough power to become a master. Do you understand? Your caution is just needless worrying. It's completely impossible. That's why this is only a hypothetical scenario. There's always another side to things. It's only natural for unexpected things to occur. I'm saying that when it does happen, don't blame me. Archer smiles dryly. Just that action makes me want to take it out on him. But if I did, I would be late for school. That won't happen. A hypothetical is a hypothetical because it won't happen. If it does, it just means my analysis was too shallow. All right. I'll remember that. Let's go then, Rin. It should take 30 minutes to get to school, so we won't make it unless we leave soon. I'm surprised. Hypotheticals do happen. Yes, I'm surprised as well. Wow, it pays to argue over everything. It had an unexpected payoff. As soon as we pass the school's main gate, we joke around like that. Around us are students heading to classrooms, and it's almost time for homeroom. In the crowd of people rushing to the school building, we stand dumbfounded. This isn't just the air stagnating. Isn't there a boundary field already set up? It's not complete, but the preparations seem to have already started. If he's doing this so openly, he must be a real big shot. Or a complete amateur. A boundary field that lets others notice the abnormality is only third class. To be first class, it has to be hidden until it's activated. So, which do you think it is, Rin? Who knows? I don't care if he's third class or first class. I'm just going to beat him mercilessly for setting up such an indecent thing in my territory. I walk angrily through the schoolyard. As a magus, I'm not about to mince words, but I can be totally satisfied until properly punish. I can't be satisfied until I properly punish the creator of this boundary field. After second period, while walking back from the music room, I see a first-year student walking unsteadily. The student is carrying some stack of papers, and it looks like she's having trouble. I'll help, Sakura. Huh? Tosaka-senpai. What? Handouts? World history? That'll be my homeroom teacher. That Kazuki, what's he thinking making a girl do all this? Here, give me half of it. Oh, yes. Thank you, senpai. It's fine. So we're taking these to your classroom? No. We're taking them to Kazuki-sensei. He said he's recalling them because there was a misspelling. I understand. Kazuki's really stubborn. He's the guy who canceled a whole test just because there was one misspelling in it. Huh? You mean the school's exam? Right. I think it was last year's midterm. He came in while everyone was filling their names and said in his usual tone that the midterm has a misspelling in it. He said that the question was not correct, so the midterm would be canceled and retaken at a later date. We were surprised, but so were the teachers, and they still talk about it today. That's just like Kazuki-sensei. He doesn't think teachers should make any mistakes. He goes too far, though. You'll realize that soon, too. Kazuki is as stubborn as a rock, or a mountain. Tosaka-senpai, you must like Kazuki-sensei. It's rare for you to talk about someone like that. Really? Well, I do think he should be more flexible, but I also think that he's not bad this way. At our school, there's a teacher liked by all the students, and a teacher feared by all the students. The balance between the two works well, so that I think Kazuki-sensei is a good disciplinarian. He's a stick in the carrot and stick approach. I think it's stick in the mud, but... Well, you'll see more of him when you reach second year. He teaches ethics, too. More importantly, Sakura, is it okay if I ask you something? Huh? What is it, senpai? It's about yesterday. Were you talking to a strange foreigner? You were watching, senpai? Just by chance. So what was it about? Do you know him? Yeah, well, he was a strange person and he seemed to be lost. He asked me lots of things, but I couldn't make out what he was trying to say, so, so she ran away. I see. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. No, it's alright. Here is fine, senpai. I only have to hand these in to him now. Okay, see you later then. I pass the handouts back to Sakura. As I start to head back to my classroom, I pause. Sakura, how are things? Yes, it's okay. I'm doing fine. I see. Well, if Shinji does something again, tell me. He doesn't know when to stop, so it will only get worse if you don't say anything. It's fine. You don't need to worry. Senpai, Nissan has been kind recently. If she says that with such a smile, I can't say anything else. I bid her goodbye once more and turned back to my familiar junior. The day ends. Students leave the classroom and the building gets darker by the second. The sun will set soon. When the red sun sets and night falls, there should be no one left at school. Let's begin, Archer. First, we need to check out the boundary field. Once we figure that out, what kind of boundary field it is, we'll decide whether to eliminate it or leave it. I address my invisible partner. Archer must understand as I sense him nodding. A boundary field is something that protects its caster. You could call it geographical magic, in which one knits a line of magic across a line to change the interior. Infinite different effects are possible within a boundary field. There are all sorts of boundary field, from one that conceals the area from people's eyes to one that can limit the use of magic within them. The most aggressive of all are those that oppress life forms within them. The boundary field laid out at our school is of that kind. It's not yet complete, but once it is, everyone in the school should fall unconscious. Oof, that's not good. But something like this won't affect me. After all, a boundary field is something targeted not at me, but at the place I am in. Such an indirect magical energy intervention has no effect on magi, who have magical energy throughout their bodies. A weak current floating through the air will only be repelled by a strong magical current like myself. So this boundary field has a different intention. I don't know what kind of person set up this boundary field, but his intention was not to defeat a master. It's hard to believe, but his target is everyone at the school. There's only one reason to do something like that. Unbelievably, this guy is. I search the school and emerge on a rooftop to finish. It's dark outside. It's 8 o'clock now, way past the school closing time, which is 6. The only people in the school are me and Archer. So this makes 7. Well, it looks like this is the origin. An 8-stroke mark is openly drawn on the rooftop. The purplish-reddish character is only visible to Magi is something I have never seen before, engraved with something unknown. Damn it. This isn't something I can handle. The person who set up this boundary field didn't think about anything. He didn't think, but the boundary field is bound with amazing skill. I could temporarily drain the magical energy from this boundary field, but I cannot eliminate the boundary field itself. The boundary field can be reactivated just by having the caster put more magical energy into it again. Archer says nothing. He's been quiet ever since we came onto the rooftop, probably because he recognizes the power of this boundary field. This boundary field doesn't just drain one's strength. Once activated, it will literally dissolve all the people within it. That doesn't sound good. There are boundary fields that drain physical and mental strength from people within them. But the boundary field laid out over the school is one on a completely different level. This is a soul eater. It is a blood fort that dissolves people within it and claims the souls that seep out. Since ancient times, souls have been hard to handle. Even though they're believed to exist and are necessary for magic, only one magus has ever understood the soul. Souls are only things to be investigated or things to be moved into containers. It's incomprehensible not merely to suck them out, but also to collect them in a single place. It's because a Magus has no use for them even if one were to collect this unconvertible energy. So if there is a reason, it must be... Archer, are you servants this kind of creature? I asked coldly. It is as you suspect. I told you we are basically spirits, therefore our meals consist of souls and mental constitutes. As you subsist on meat, we subsist on souls and minds. Our basic abilities do not change much from such nourishment, but we become tougher. In other words, our magical energy capacity increases. Yes. To strengthen your servant, you must attack people indiscriminately. So the magical energy the master provides isn't enough? It's not that, but it doesn't hurt to have more. In a war, if you lack strength, you will make up for it with supplies, right? It's a basic tactic for masters to steal energy from the people around them. In that regard, this boundary field is very efficient. Archer is saying that if I want to win, I should kill people and steal their strength. How simple. I already knew that. That's why I think I know which path I'm going to choose. That annoys me. Don't ever mention it again, Archer. I say so while staring at the mark. For some reason, Archer sounds happy as he confidently answers, I feel the same way. I do not intend to do so either. Well, let's erase this. It's meaningless, but it should hinder them a bit. I approach the mark and extend my left arm. The magic crest on my left arm is a book of magic passed down on the Tosaka family. I switch on my sense. I push a magical energy into my crest and read the part that explains the elimination of boundary fields. And now all I have to do is activate it. Abzig Benig Mittelduzang. Eliminate surgical extraction, second section. I touch the surface with my left hand and let my magical energy flow out. This will at least wash the color off this mark, but... What? Are you going to erase it? What a waste. Suddenly, as if to stop the erasure of the boundary field, a voice echoes over. I quickly stand up and turn around. Oh! On top of the water tower. In the sky, 10 meters away, a guy is looking down at me. Deep, ultramarine that melts into the night. His grin is wide and his bestial smell carries in the wind. The stare of the beast is a cool one. The man in blue looks at me like an old friend, even in this situation. Is this your doing? No. Petty tricks are the Magi's job. We only fight as we are commanded to. Isn't that right, you over there? Casual, but his voice is filled with murderous intent. This guy can see Archer. As I thought, a servant. That's right. Since you can tell, I'll consider you as my enemy, right? My spine freezes. A normal, light tone of voice. And it's colder than anything I've ever heard. Scary enough to make me vomit. I can't tell how I should move or what my best course is. But my reason is telling me absolutely not to fight this man right here. Oh, that's pretty good. You seem like you don't know anything, but you grasp the important parts. Man, I messed up. I shouldn't have called out to you just for fun. The man raises his arm. It happens in an instant. That arm held nothing until now. Now, it holds a red weapon, 2 meters long. I jumped to the side without thinking. I can't spare time to consider that. I can't jump full force while on a rooftop. I just jumped with full force to the side, as if trying to smash the fence. A whirlwind brushes past my hair. Barely made it. He rushed me in an eye blink and mercilessly slashed at the space I occupied. Heh, you've got some good legs, young lady. The blue whirlwind pursues me. There are no escapes. The fence behind me, to my sides. No, I won't make it. Es ist groß, es ist klein. My response is fast. I run the magic crest on my left arm and assemble the magic in a single measure. It lightens my body and adjusts gravity. In this instant, my body becomes light as a feather, and I leap. Rin. I know. Let me handle it. I jump over the fence and fall from the rooftop. The wind and pressure against my body. 15 meters to the ground, 1.7 seconds until landing. No, that's too shallow. He'll catch up. Vox, go to Salas. Archer, take care of the landing. I let Archer take the impact of the landing and start to run as soon as my feet touch the ground. First, I have to change the location. We have to go somewhere where we can move around freely, not a small place like a rooftop. We have to move into a large field with no obstacles to play to Archer's and my strengths. I've run from the rooftop to the school ground in less than 7 seconds. It's more than 100 meters. My speed is so fast that normal people would only see a blur. But that's... Man, those are really good legs. It'd be a waste to kill you here. Meaningless against a servant. Archer! At the moment I step back, Archer steps in front, taking form. A cloudy night. In Archer's hand is a short sword that reflects the weak moonlight. Oh. The man crooks his mouth. That's good. That's the way to go. I don't mind people who are quick on the uptake. A large whirlwind. That's the weapon swung at me from the roof. That's the red crimson lance that tried mercilessly to slaughter me. Servant Lancer. That's right. And your servant is Saber. Or maybe not. Who the hell are you? There's no sign of his previous casual demeanor. In response to Lancer, full of a murderous intent, Archer remains silent. A distance between the two is about 5 meters. The weapon in Lancer's hand is about 2 meters. For that man with a bestial smell, I feel like the remaining 3 meters are meaningless. Heh, you're not the type to engage in one-on-one combat, so you must be Archer. Archer doesn't respond to the sneering voice either. Confronting each other, strangely are red and blue. The two counterfeit colored knights are already watching for each other's clenching blow. Alright, I don't like it, but now we've met, we'll just have to fight. Come on, take out your bow, Archer. I have some manners, so I'll at least wait for that. Archer does not respond. There's nothing to say to an enemy he must defeat. That steel back of his seems to declare so. That makes me realize I'm being stupid. Archer is just waiting for my word, my command. Archer. I talk to his back without approaching him. I won't help you. Show me your powers here. Heh. Was that a laugh? He grins as if to answer my words, and the Red Knight dashes forward. Twirling glass of wind. Short sword in hand, the red bullet launches. You fool! What meets him is a blue spear thrust. If the dashing archer is raging wind, the responding spearhead is divine wind. The sword is swung. A swing to deflect the thrust. Archer parries the thrust of a high-speed lance with a short sword. The one in the red stops. The enemy did not permit Archer's rush. The enemy doesn't even let him get within 2 meters of the range of the spear. For a long weapon, distance is always preferred. A lancer has a weapon almost 2 meters long. He only needs to attack when his enemies come into his range. Thrusting at an approaching enemy is easier than moving it out yourself. But even so, Lancer closes the distance himself and doesn't allow Archer to move forward. Idiot. A mere bowman challenging a close-range fight? His temper is like a burning fire. Lancer closes in with each blow, with no thought of stopping. With a long weapon, it's suicidal to close in on an enemy. Spearman's tactic is to use their long range to defeat the enemy and win the battle. So as the Lancer is advancing unchecked, he doesn't have a chance of winning. No way. But that's just by the book. Lancer's lance shows no vulnerabilities as it strikes for throat, shoulders, forehead, and heart. Thrusts so fast that even the after images are blurred. As each strike with his lance repels, rebuffs, and pushes back Archer, any of those thrusts could be called a final blow. But even as the bowman, Archer is a servant. No ordinary attack can be a final blow. Having repelled the lance aimed at his forehead, Archer closes in with speed superior to Lance's lance. Based on its shape, you might think the main attack of the lance is a thrust, but the basic strength of a lance is in its swings. This is because a wide swing using its range does not allow the enemy to dodge by stepping back. A partial retreat does not allow escape, and an attempt to counterattack will only result in a slashed stomach, but simply going forward will end up in a smashed rib from a long shaft of a lance. Archer and Lancer are similarly built. On top of that, it's hard for Archer with no armor to step in range of a lance swung like a whirlwind. But thrusts are a different story. A blazing fast thrust certain to strike you is certainly scary, but as long as the attack targets a point, there are many ways to avoid it once you see it. As Archer did just then, hitting the shaft of the approaching lance, redirecting it slightly, creating an opening. It must be because he underestimated a bowman. The advantage of a long weapon is the length and freedom of its range. Once Lancer has discarded these advantages himself, his defeat is the one in the red stops. A nightmare-like time is reversing. The thrust is faster than the previous ones. Good. Archer tries to parry the blow, but he gets flicked away along with his weapon. There are no openings in Lancer's attack. No, not just that. The thrusts increase in speed and power without limit, and it becomes a final blow even for the servant. We're the ones who underestimated him. For that servant, for that Lancer's weapon, there are no general rules about lances. Who could ever parry continuous attacks without even space to breathe between them? Archer manages to retreat a bit and parries, and as a result, the distance between them opens a little. That distance? Lancer uses that distance as a runway to launch an even more powerful attack. The raging continuous attack is only a repetition of that. But the blows themselves are godlike. 10 blows already. No, it must actually be many times more than that. The heavy rain of the lance pours with yet more strength, trying to skewer Archer to death. It's not fast, but it's just skill. It thrusts like a waterfall with no change in speed. What can Archer do now as he's on the defensive? With such a short sword, he can only parry the lance. He has no way to close on the Lancer, and he continues to retreat. A vacuum of steel unfolds. Support! I have to back Archer up, but my throat won't respond. My magic, it has poor aim. Unless Archer gets far away from Lancer, I will hit him with my magic as well. Such an opening would only increase Lancer's advantage. And besides, frankly, I'm captivated. This is a battle between servants. This is a Holy Grail war itself, where we use heroic spirits, the highest rank of familiar, whom we would never otherwise obtain. Servants. Familiars of different classes that obey the seven masters. These are the highest ranked familiars called heroic spirits that the Holy Grail summons. So, it's misleading to call them familiars. Originally, familiars were just beings that can run errands for the Magus. Imagine perhaps a cat in boots, Puss in Boots, or a cute white bird, or a black dog that doesn't obey its master or something like that. Familiars that a mere mage can summon are on that level. Familiars are just familiars. They're only mascots that run errands for their masters, so they cannot be beings stronger than their masters. But servants are different. They are the most powerful beings. Even for sorcerers, which are only 5 in this world, it would be probably impossible to form a contract with them. It's not that the summoning is hard, or even that the ability of the servant surpasses that of the Magus. Servants themselves are beings above magic. I'll make it clear. Servants are heroes from the past. Myth, legend, fable, history. Fiction or not, the superhuman beings who gain the concrete existence in folklore are what we call heroes. A hero that becomes eternal in people's minds is no longer a human after their death, and is promoted to another form of existence. Humans who bring about miracles, save people, and achieve great deeds are called heroes even after their death. After being so called, they are promoted heroic spirits after their death and become guardians of humanity. It doesn't matter whether these people exist in reality or in stories. It is people's minds that create a hero. People's wishes that this is how things should be give them form and set them up as real. Authenticity does not matter. They can have forms as long as they have fame as a legend and people have faith. The ultimate ideal humans have created, the greatest human people have created, these are the heroes, the heroic spirits. And of course, since they are beyond human, they cannot be controlled by humans. A magus usually borrows their power only to mimic them. They cannot summon their heroic spirits themselves. But the Holy Grail made the impossibility into reality. It summons the heroic spirit beyond human control and turns it into a familiar obedient to the master. That nonsense is proof that the Holy Grail is almighty. And with the passing of years ignored, the heroic spirits are summoned. The most recent from 100 years ago, the oldest from ancient days. The 7 heroic spirits obey each of the 7 masters, protect them, and eliminate the masters of the enemy. Heroes from every age and country are revived into the past day to kill one another for supremacy. Present day, sorry. That is why this ritual is called the Holy Grail War. But it seems the Holy Grail has its limits too. Even the Holy Grail cannot indiscriminately call unto the spirit-like beings. Just as a form invited by the humans is required for the imaginary sixth element, known as the devil, to take form, the heroic spirits also need a form to live in this world. That form is their temporary name, and the way they exist in this world. The Holy Grail has furnished classes so that the heroic spirits may take that form more easily, and it only summons the heroic spirits that match these classes. It's like a passport to the present, and it sets up the role as a familiar in advance. By allowing the summoned heroic spirits to take on that role, it helps the spirit take form. If there are 7 masters chosen by the Holy Grail, there are also 7 servants obeying these masters. There are 7 furnished classes. Knight of the Sword, Saber. Knight of the Lance, Lancer. Knight of the Bow, Archer. Mounted Soldier, Rider. Magus, Caster. Silent Killer, Assassin. Mad Warrior, Berserker. Only the heroic spirits with the attributes of these classes are summoned to the present day to obey the master and become a servant. That is a servant system. A summoning and contract with a heroic spirit beyond human control to win the miracle beyond human grasp. The ultimate competition, held only on this ground. The one and only Holy Grail War. A loud crash. The short sword that deflected Lancer's lance flies from Archer's hand. This is Lancer's technique. A straight thrust that turns into a sweep at Archer's wrist. It was a blow Archer could not avoid, even if he had seen it coming. There is no effective way of parrying a lance with a sword. A strong rebuff only results in stronger counterattack, and a weak rebuff does not create any openings. The important aspect of battling between a sword and a lance lies in defeating the enemy when he is at the wrong range. Idiot. There is no hesitation in Lancer. His movement to push Archer back stops. He must intend to end this match in a single instant. The stares of the firmly placed Lancer and the swordless Archer clash. In that instant, the lance is thrust just like a flash of light. It can't even be seen. Forehead, neck, and heart. 3 shots are launched, any one a fatal blow. But the flash was too fast to see it repelled by a shining blade. In Archer's hands is the short sword again. A sword like before. A Chinese sword like a hatchet. But the biggest difference is... crap, 2 swords? A pair of swords? In his hands are matched swords, mirror images of each other. Huh. A bowman trying to be a swordsman. Lancer's lance flies. As if to finish Archer off, the lance moves faster and faster. Archer defends with a burning spirit. His hawk-like eyes say that he will not retreat anymore. No, that he will only advance from now on. The clanging sounds are like well-orchestrated music. 2 steels clanging against each other. The sparkling clashes increase in rhythm without pause. The battle of the 2 is like a vacuum. It sucks in the air around them, and seems like anything approaching them would be cut to pieces. In reality, it only lasts an instant, but for me looking on, it seems to take infinitely long time. Lancer tries not to let Archer near him, while Archer advances using his sword as a shield. Over 100 blows have been thrown, and Archer loses the sword every time. But it's only for a moment, as Archer has a sword in his hand in the next instant, forcing Lancer back a little each time. Lancer finally admits his carelessness, that even though he doesn't know who is before him, he will be a loser if he dismisses him as a mere bowman. The distance widens. Probably to recover, Lancer puts a large distance between them. His speed is extraordinary. Archer's charge was out of this world, but it was still slow compared to Lancer's. The movement of his retreat had panther-like speed and agility. 27. I've disarmed you that many times, yet you still have more. Lancer mutters in irritation. No, it's more like confusion. I feel the same way. According to Father, a servant only carries one weapon. Their weapon is filled with magical energy, so it's not something that could be created one after another like Archer was just doing. Servants are heroes that sublimate their spirits after death, equaling the holy parts. To put it another way, they are like devils or angels. They are powerful familiars on their own, but their most powerful weapon is their proof of heroism, a magical item called their noble phantasm. A noble phantasm is a weapon or armor the servant used when they were a hero, and it's treated as a last resort. The noble phantasm is the one and only weapon for a servant. This is because the noble phantasm is an ultimate weapon without equal. The lance that Lancer is using will show its power as a noble phantasm when the Lancer deems it necessary. A noble phantasm is an impressive weapon by itself, but its true ability is to release all its power using its true name. Heroes' weapons, which rule over all others, and which have killed dragons and gods. Servants activate their noble phantasms using their magical energy. It's much like magic. Servants recreate the destructions in legend using the noble phantasm as a catalyst. Noble phantasms are never disposable. The swords that Archer brought out must be excellent, but they can't be his noble phantasm. He is the servant Archer. So the noble phantasm he conceals must be a bow. What's wrong, Lancer? It's not like you need to stand there and watch. Where's the energy you had until just now? You're talking crap, you cheater. Lancer's irritation is understandable. Even though Lancer's fought as a spearman, Archer fended him off as a swordsman, which means Archer hasn't shown any of his abilities yet. So it's only natural for Lancer to feel ghastly. Alright then, I'll ask you, what hero are you? I've never heard of a bowman using two swords. On the other hand, it's easy to tell who you are. It's said that only the fastest heroes are chosen as a Lancer, but you surpass even that. There aren't 3 Lancers in this world at your level, and on top of that, there's only one with such beast-like agility. Oh, well said, Archer. At that instant, his vast murderous intent makes me forget to breathe. Lancer's arm moves. This is different from before. His stance free from contempt. The spearhead is lowered as if to strike the ground, and only his stare pierces Archer. In that case, you shall face my finishing blow. I won't stop you. You're an enemy I will have to defeat sooner or later. Lancer's body sinks down. At the same time, a chill like thorns fills the schoolyard. The air freezes. not a metaphor. It literally freezes. All the mana in the air is frozen. The only person allowed to breathe here is the warrior called Lancer. The lance in Lancer's hand is unmistakably a demonic one. And now it's waiting to take its true form in the moment it strikes. Crap. He'll be beaten. I don't know what kind of noble phantasm that is, but Archer will be beaten. It's implausible since this is the first time I felt such an intuition. But there's no doubt about it. Archer will die when that lance is thrust. It is determined. Literally, Lancer's lance is the embodiment of an inescapable death. Oh, Archer will be defeated. Archer will die when Lancer pierces his heart. And yet, even though I know what's going to happen, I can't even help him. Because if I move even a finger, that will trigger the attack. So if anything can stop this battle and stop Archer's defeat, it would be... Who's there? It would be a chance appearance of a stranger we have all overlooked. Huh? The ghastly air coming from Lancer disappears. The sound of fleeing footsteps. That figure is definitely wearing a school uniform. A student? Someone was here? It seems so. He did save our lives, though. Archer says calmly. We were certainly safe, but... My mistake. I didn't notice my surroundings because I was preoccupied with Lancer. Hey, Archer. What are you doing? Can't you see? I'm resting since I'm free now. You can't do that. What about Lancer? He went after that guy. He saw us, so Lancer probably went to eliminate him. For an instant, my thoughts stopped. Follow him, Archer. I'll catch up right away. Archer goes after Lancer immediately. Damn, how stupid of me. I curse my carelessness. It's the rule of Magi to eliminate any witness. Which is why, if one didn't do that, one just had to allow no witnesses. I've done that until now. So why do I have to make a mistake today of all days? There's a theme with her, huh? At night, where even the moonlight is obscure, a student is lying on the cold hallway floor, and Archer is standing still. He is staring silently at the student. A smell hits my nose. The blood on the floor makes clear that is the smell of death. Follow him, Archer. Lancer will probably go back to his master. This won't be worth it unless we find out what his master looks like. Archer goes after Lancer. I'm left alone with the student lying on the floor. I can't look straight at him, but I must. This is my fault. This is my fault. This is my fault. Ever since I was a child, ever since I became the successor of the Tosaka, I've been preparing for something like this. There's no good or evil for Magi. I've always told myself that this road has only my blood and the blood of others, so... One shot from Lancer's lance, huh? You can't be saved with your heart pierced. I don't know how long it's been since Lancer's killed him. Was he lucky or unlucky to be pierced through the heart? I guess Lancer's attack isn't a simple external wound, as the flow of blood from the ruptures isn't too severe. It's not too severe, but it's all over when the brain doesn't get any more blood. No, basically if his heart were pierced, he should have died instantly. But it's amazing he isn't dead yet. Yes, he's still breathing, faintly as if to give his last scream. But that will only last a few more seconds. He can't heal his own wounds, and I don't have enough power to save him either. I have to look at his face. I should have at least done that. I try to touch his forehead facing the ground, and I realize my fingertips won't move. They're trembling. I wonder why. I'm used to such things. I've had to make these kind of choices many times before. I've lost many things due to my mistakes and selfishness. That's why I'm ready for the day like this. So why am I so angry at myself? Sorry, I'll have to see you off at least. I'll control my trembling fingers and my failing knees with my will and look at the face of this student. A huge smacking sound. It really feels like I've been hit on the head with a hammer. Stop it. Why does it have to be you? I grit my teeth. Not to suppress my trembling. I'm really pissed off. Why is it him? Why did it have to be him? I'm not mad at Lancer for killing a witness quickly and perfectly, just as a servant should do. I'm just angry at him for staying at this place on this day. Sakura's face flashes in my mind. She will definitely cry. I recall one red-tinted day after school a long time ago. A distant sunset. Someone always running alone. And a boring girl staring at that from far away. And before me, the corpse of someone who happened to get involved. There's a way. I might fail and lose my last resort in the process, but there's still a way. No, I'll lose my last resort whether I succeed or fail, so the result for me won't change. It's a mistake. The fact of his death is already determined. It's my fault for not noticing the things around me. It's his fault for unluckily staying late. So I don't need to go that far. Yes, because this is what my father, who gave me nothing else, left just for me. A powerful chunk of magical energy. A reliable last resort to win through this battle. A precious, precious thing. Just for me. So what, idiot? I shake the feeling off and kneel in front of someone, the one who will become a corpse in another second. Man, I've done it. The pendant in my hand becomes lighter. My father's memento is drained almost to emptiness and falls into what used to be a dying body. Well, it can't be helped. Yes, it can't be helped. I didn't have the power or skill to revive someone with a damaged heart, damaged blood vessels, and on the verge of brain death on top of that. That's why I had to make up for my lack of skill with this powerful object. It's lucky he was still breathing. If he was completely dead, no amount of magical energy could have revived him. But since he was still alive, I just did what I could, and I ended up saving his life. It would have been awful if I failed, but since I succeeded, I guess it's alright. Yeah, I feel fulfilled, to be honest. So this wasn't such a bad experience. I'm just bluffing. Let's go. What's done is done. I have to head back before he wakes up. Yeah, there's no need for me to stay here any longer. Archer should be following Lancer, so I should go home by myself. On my way back, I remember. I left the pendant at school. Just a pendant now that the magical energy has been drained out of it. Oh well. I have no more use for that pendant. Sure, I might have a bit of magical energy left in it, but it's surely less than the 10 jewels I have. What my father intended to leave me was enough magical energy to win the Holy Grail War. So now, without magical energy, that thing is meaningless. I enter the house without saying anything and sit on the sofa. Archer isn't back yet. I sigh and listen to the clock for a few minutes. I have to switch gears. What am I doing, daydreaming after a battle like that? I jump up and brew some tea. There's so many things to think about. Most importantly, the servants. I've just witnessed a battle between servants I have previously only understood intellectually. Lancer, huh? I panicked when he almost used his noble phantasm, but I would have found out his identity if he had used it. The easiest way to beat an enemy servant is to learn their identity. Ignoring for the moment the idiot who doesn't even know his true identity, the biggest weak point of their servant is their true name. Discovering the servant's true name, in other words, figuring out their identity, should let you take a guess at what kind of noble phantasm they might have. It goes without saying, but since servants are heroic spirits, they have a legend associated with them. If you figure out their legend, you should be able to find out most of their abilities. Servants are called by their class name because they want to hide their true names. Because the more famous a hero is, the more people know about their weapon and their weaknesses. A heroic spirit that becomes a servant never gives out their true identity. The only ones that know the servants' identities are their masters. There's even a tactic understanding the masters hide their servants' identities while trying to discover the identities of others. This is the fifth Holy Grail War. The qualities of servants are determined by the ranks of the summoned heroic spirits. It goes without saying the more famous heroes and the heroes who's with better weapons are stronger. But it's difficult to summon such heroic spirits. To summon a heroic spirit, one must have a connection with them, such as a weapon used during their lives. Even the Magic Association has few of such things. So generally, one will summon a heroic spirit that suits them, like I did. A servant's strength is determined by the rank of the heroic spirit. But it's not that simple, even as the most powerful heroic spirits may have a hard time depending on the class they are assigned to. That is because of the special abilities it assigned to each class, the possibility of the weak defeating the strong. The 7 classes each have different additional ability. One even has a chance of defeating an opponent of a higher rank depending on the ability's affinity. To take an example, an infamous hero who has defeated a great hero 4 times in the past. As far as I know, the most powerful servant is Saber. In all the previous 4 wars, Saber's made it to the final fight. It is said that the 3 classes Saber, Lancer, and Archer have strong magic resistance. To put it simply, magic is pretty much useless against them. It's because they are fighters who fought through the ages of myths, where magics were used widely. Magics that Magi use now would probably dissipate just by touching them. Anyway, that's why these 3 classes are considered the basics and the best. Another that's worthy to mention is a Servant Berserker. The heroic spirit summoned into this class loses their sanity. Just as the name implies, they become a mad warrior puppet of their master. The benefit from this is a strengthening of their power far exceeding the powers they had when alive. However, the more powerful a servant becomes, the greater burden it imposes on the master. In the past, masters who summoned Berserker couldn't control their rampaging servants and destroyed themselves by running out of magical energy. No exceptions. The winners and losers of the Holy Grail War are largely determined by the abilities of the servants. Well, I expect there are other ways to win it by the master's efforts, but it's basically a fight between the servants. That's why a master should be very careful when summoning a servant. Alright, I'm going to stop here for today, guys. Yeah, starting to get really good now. I'm pretty pumped for what we have for store coming up. I guess they didn't give the identity of the student who was almost killed, we will find out soon enough. And yeah, it was cool giving a description of the classes and stuff, and the battle between Archer and Lancer was pretty badass. Even though it's like a visual novel instead of the anime, I was a big fan. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think so far. And again, if you guys have questions on stuff, if it's not going to ruin the story, I will answer it. If you're brand new to Fate, and I'm sure there's going to be people who are into Fate that'll let you know in the comments below as well. Thanks.